Hello, everybody, and welcome to Talk About It Tuesday. Hey, Eric.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going.
It's International Women's Day. Did you enjoy your Women's Day today?
Yes. Very much so.
I didn't actually find that out until you told me just now. So I didn't do anything special for today, but it's also...
I just found out before this video, so...
Okay. It's also National Mario Day, which we had a debate as to whether that was Super Mario or just Mario in general.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Let us know what you think about it, because I think it's people named Mario have their own special days today. Anyway, I digress. I'm Georgianne, and this is my friend Eric, and we're here to spend a couple of minutes talking with you about the message from Sunday, which was brought to us by our friend Alexia. I almost said Lisa. And we have been in our series, Not Enough, which is a journey through the book of Colossians with us. And this week was, it was kind of a doozy. It was a lot of heavy stuff, and so we're going to unpack some of that with you right now. Hopefully by now you have had a couple of minutes to spend memorizing your verse here. We put these on the cards, and they're also on our Facebook page. And should we review it, or?
Might as well.
Okay.
You got this.
I got it. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves in compassion, kindness, gentleness, humility, and patience. I messed it up again. I keep doing this. I refuse to follow Eric's acronym because it doesn't make any sense to me.
One of us knows the verse.
And humility. Patience and humility, right? No? What does that mean? Okay.
C-K. Compassion, kindness. Humility.
Okay. I got the list. I just got to get it in the right order, okay?
Unbelievable.
All right, so spend some time memorizing that. And, okay, so we're just going to dive right in. The thing that I wanted to talk about was a couple of things. Well, two things, really. Number one is, why is this topic of sin so difficult to talk about, even for people in the church? And then, I don't remember what the second thing was, but I'll remember when we get there. So Paul gives us this list, and the thought that I had about it was, when we think about sin, we typically think those people, yes. Murderers, rapists, molesters, and so on. And we tend to remove it from ourselves a little bit. But this list here is, I think I would say more day-to-day things. He's talking about anger, malice, which is doing something to someone else with impure motives.
Which really seems like the root of all those big things anyway.
Lying, right? What else is on there?
You said anger.
Anger, malice, lying, deceit. Well, that's lying. So we see some of these more day-to-day things that we maybe think we could get away with. But I think that we have to talk about them, because the reality of sin is that it puts distance between us and God. And I think in seeking to be closer with Jesus, we have to acknowledge the ways that we fall short. But the key in Alexia's message was that we have hope in Christ when we feel like we don't have hope. And so it's the balance of acknowledging sin and battling against it, and realizing that we do have hope in our battle against sin.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, and I think, again, for some reason, we just don't want to talk about it, even though, Paul had no shame in saying, hey, I was pretty crappy, but look how great Jesus is. But I think that's right, that, this list that Paul's giving us is getting at the heart of what sin is. And you see those played out, the same anger that we get for no reason about small things in life. It's the same anger that those murders and stuff you listed are, and that's what doesn't feel good. like a good example is like Jesus and the woman caught in adultery. Like he like takes her sin and like pulls it to the heart of it and is like, you guys are sinning in the same way. And I think that is what's painful. Yeah, Alexia was pretty blunt when she was like, you don't have to keep sinning. And I think that is so true. Like, but the caveat of like further understanding what she's getting at is like, we understand that it's hard to just stop sinning. Like it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
The whole point is that there's hope. Like it doesn't have to always be that way. And for so many people, that's the trap they find themselves getting into when feeling not enough.
Yeah. And not only within people in the church, but like, have you ever had a friend say to you, like, I can't go to church. That place is going to burn down if I go there.
Yeah. Or people in the church that can't accept the love and forgiveness and grace of God because if only God knew how bad I was, as if he doesn't.
I mean, I think that's really like a tactic of the enemy, is to make us believe that we're way too far gone for God to do anything with us, which is the crazy story of the gospel is exactly opposite of that.
Yeah. My best friend struggled with like the same sort of sins that the drugs and alcohol. He struggled with those after he got baptized. And it was like, from our senior year to 2 years later when he died, because I was off at college, so every time we'd meet back up, every time just full of tears, like just shame and like that same feeling, like if only he knew like how bad. And it's like,
well, because we talked about it last week, we touched on this, like the story of forgiveness is not something the world wants us to believe or lets us believe, and it's so ingrained in the opposite way in our mind that I think we just have such a hard time with it.
Yeah.
Well, you actually just hit on the second thing that I wanted to talk about, is that why like what are reasons that I wouldn't want to acknowledge my own sin?
I think deep down, it's like, for me, in my life in the past, it was like, I don't want to acknowledge just how bad I am.
Yeah.
Like, I'd rather just like, or like, I don't want other people knowing how bad I am, because it's so frustrating how legalistic the church can be. Like, a church full of broken people being mightier than the people down the road from them in church. And it's like,
this is like, do you follow the Facebook page Humans of New York? Okay, so there was like a really captivating story on there the other day, and what they do is like, they'll typically post somebody's story in like segments, because it's really long, right? So they have to limit it. Well, this story they posted in like 13 segments. And this lady was talking about her husband. It was a very long story, but it came out that her husband had molested one of their kids and was like spending time in a lot of sexual sin. She was deeply involved in her church, and these people all turned their backs on her. And it wasn't even her that was the one that was involved in the sin. And this is why we can come away with so many church hurts, but like we're really trying to change the culture around this topic, because this is where we find healing. So,
until you open up and let light shine into the darkness, things are never going to be better.
And we're like not talking about like, hey Eric, you gotta get up here on this stage and like confess your sin to everybody, right? It's not that. It's like, being in deep community with trusted people who are going to hold you accountable to your walk with Christ.
Yeah, and there's different layers.
Right.
Like, it might just look like you being honest. It can look from like just being honest with yourself, like being honest to the people closest to you, maybe being honest to a larger group, and hopefully, like, I know everybody's story is different. Mine is like just feeling that urge from Paul that's like, I don't have to be ashamed of my past, so it doesn't matter if I tell everybody what it is, because that's just how great Jesus is.
You already said, Paul said, like, of all the sinners, I'm the worst of them. Like, he was a murderer. He was like persecuting people, and God used him in a crazy, crazy way to bring thousands, probably hundreds of thousands of people to faith in Jesus. And so I think, pride, what you just said, is really, I think, the number one. We want to have other people around us think that we have it all together. We're embarrassed. We don't want people to see like the real, authentic us because it's too painful.
Yeah.
But again, we're trying to remind people here in our community that it doesn't have to be that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's, I would say, is, one of the big reasons behind moving groups, right? Is that we have people in our lives who know us much deeper than just on a surface level.
Yeah. And that's part of the not enough. It's like not opening up, like breaking down your walls and opening up and shining light.
Yeah.
Like hiding it is never going to help you stop feeling like you're not enough.
Right. That's true. Well, we know this has not been the lightest topic that we've ever talked about. And this is a topic that can be hard and scary and maybe even depressing, I guess. It might give you anxiety. But we just want to let you know that we're here to talk with you through these things. You can leave your comments here on the video. If you would rather not do that, you can message one of us or message our Facebook page. We have staff that would love to talk with you, and we're just so excited about the ways that we've seen transformation already in our community, and would love to walk alongside you with any questions you might have. All right, so if you missed any of the series, you can catch up on our YouTube or Facebook page, and you can join us here on Sundays at 9:30 and 11, and here Tuesdays 8 o'clock every week.
Yep.
All right, see you soon.